That is absolutely phenomenal. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing one that's a little bit time consuming but well worth it. We're making a beef and mushroom stout pie. Now you can use any brand of stout that you so wish, you know, and I'm sure people are going to go for the famous Irish one, but you know, up to you. Now it's a straightforward cook recipe. The first bit is prep it all up, chuck it all in a pan, cook for an hour and a half to 2 hours until your beef is fork tender. And in that time we'll make some pastry and we'll put all the pie together, shove it in the oven and serve it up. So it is a little bit time consuming because we have to cook everything for 2 hours, but it's a simple cook. It's so simple. Okay, I've already chopped some onions and I've got some mushrooms. Now, mushrooms don't throw in at the start. Throw in after about an hour and 10 minutes or something like that of cooking. You know, we want to keep some texture. Okay, let's crack on and make this. Pan, oil. Now it doesn't matter what oil you use. This is rice bran oil, but it's the first oil I took off the shelf, so don't worry about that. I'm also going to go in there with some butter. A little bit of butter. Cook with whatever you want, you know. If you don't want to use butter, don't use it. So we're getting our flame on, and we've got all our onions, and I've got some garlic chopped here as well. Now it's all going in that pan. I'm not waiting for it to warm up. Just get it in, it can all warm up together. You know, this thing's going to cook for nearly 2 hours, so let's not worry about it. Seasoning, salt and pepper, up to you. I'm not using any salt whatsoever because I have stock cubes and a gravy which carry salt. I am using freshly ground black pepper and I am using dried thyme. A good amount in there because that's going to sit there for about 2 hours, and then all we have to do is give it a little stir through and start cooking it down. Now this is a very easy quick cook, no hassle. So we're only saying a quick cook by throwing everything in the same pan. It's not a quick cooking time. However, if you've got one of those fancy instant pot things or a pressure cooker, you could cook this within about 15-16 minutes, done. We're doing it the old-fashioned way. In with our meat. Now, this meat is chuck steak, or otherwise known as stewing beef, anything like that. It's a very tasty meat, but takes a long time to cook down to release that flavour. That's why it's perfect for this kind of dish. Now if you can sear up your meat and put a bit of brown colour on there, so be it. We're not trying to cook this meat in any way. It's going to cook gently in the fluid for 2 hours, so don't rush to cook it. Just put a little bit of a sear on if you can. Now it doesn't matter if you can't, because within 2 hours time, if you brown that meat all over, it's all going to come off in the fluid anyway. We're going to go in there with a little bit of Worcester sauce, about a tablespoon actually. Stir that through. And we want about a tablespoon of tomato paste, tomato puree. Just bring that in. Now for this one, I am going in there with just a little bit of flour. Probably about 2 tablespoons actually. And that's going to give us that nice thickness when we cook it down. Okay, use any stout you like. And there's quite a lot here actually, but let's have that in there. Now for all the people that worry about alcohol, the alcohol cooks off, but it leaves a really nice depth of flavour to this pie. So you don't have to worry about falling around while you're eating your pie. And then this is a couple of stock cubes in here, and that is going in there, including lumps. Give that a little stir. Okay, nice and steady. All we need to do now is put a lid on and let it simmer. So turn the heat down. Let it simmer for about 1.5 to 2 hours, something like that. And then all we do is we come along, we stick a fork in, and if the fork goes in, it's fork tender, that's okay, it's fine. That's what we need to go in our pie. All you do, you keep coming along, give it a little stir, make sure it's not stuck on the bottom. Now we're going to cook that for about 1 hour and 10 minutes, somewhere like that, and then we're going to add our mushrooms. Okay, we've been slowly cooking away there for about 1.5 hours actually. I'm just going to have a look at this meat. That's what we want. The fork is going in and there's still some resistance in the middle. That is perfect. That's what we're after. Now I've wiped my mushrooms over already with a damp kitchen towel. Now the mushrooms, you know, we actually want chunks of mushroom in, so cut them quite wide. So we have our mushrooms in there now. Just give it a gentle turn in, and then we're going to put the lid back on for about another 20 minutes. Lid back on for about another 20 minutes. Don't forget, just give it a little stir. You know, the meat will sink to the bottom, it will start to stick. Okay, we've been going about 20 minutes there. That's bubbling up nice there, look. And you can see the mushrooms have started to cook down. But they've cooked down sufficiently, you know. So we're just going to get some of that gravy out of there. Just take out what you can. We need to cook up a nice thick mix to go inside our pie. So we have got a fantastic amount of gravy there. So I've got a tiny bit of cornflour slurry here. It's 1 tablespoon of cornflour, 2 tablespoons of water, because I don't want a thick stodgy mess in here. We're just going to put that in there, and we're just going to stir that in, and it should thicken really nicely. Now, the longer you cook this, the thicker it's going to be. If you take it too thick, you can either add water to it, or we can add a bit of that gravy. We just want a nice, thickish gravy inside our pie. So that's our filling done. And as you can see, we've still got decent pieces of mushroom in there. We have mushroom texture and not dissolved mushroom slices. Okay, we need to cool that. I've got shortening and butter. I'm going in with a pinch of salt, and then we're going to get in here and we are going to give it a mixing up. Just get your hands in, bring it together, finger and thumbs, nice and gently, just squash it in there. You know, and as you can see here, this is not cold butter by any means. It's butter that's been sat on the side. Not to worry, it'll still make a fantastic shortcrust pastry. So nice and gently, finger and thumbs, lift up, squeeze together, lightly, just lightly squeeze together. And then all we do is we just lift up and give it a rub. Lift up, give it a rub. Rub it through our fingers and thumbs and just lift up and give it a rub. It's as easy as that. As you know, you can make pastry in a food processor and takes only a few seconds. However, it takes 10 minutes to clean, whereas you make the pastry in a bowl, it takes 5 minutes and 1 minute to clean the bowl. So this might be a better option. So lift up, give a rub, and what we're after is the consistency of breadcrumbs. Nice and straightforward. Lift, rub, rub through your finger and thumbs. Just lift up and rub. So there we go. That's looking okay. We've got a nice breadcrumb consistency there. Fantastic. I've got a bowl of water and I'm going to add apple cider vinegar to the water. I'm going to crack in an egg and we're going to give it a beating. Just beat it all up. And then we are going to add our beaten egg to our flour mixture. Get it in there. Turn over the fork you've been using and stir it in with a handle. And when you've got it mixed in as much as it'll go, we've got to get our hand in and bring it all together. Nice and straightforward this. Just bring it together gently so the dry stuff gets in with the wet stuff and we end up with a really nice workable dough. As you can see, this is a nice, crumbly, no-fail pastry. It looks superb. And just bring the ball together, and then we have too much for one pie here. We're going to split it in two. Now you can freeze one half of this, or you can just leave it in the fridge for another project. It's just easier to make this quantity because we use a whole egg. As you can see, it's nice, it's crumbly, well formed. All we need to do is roll it into a dish shape and put it in some cling film. What I'm going to be using today, I'm going to use a spring-formed tin. It's a 9-inch tin. That is going to be fine. So we just need to get some flour on here and on our pin and start rolling. So just take our pastry, get that on there, a little bit on the pin, and we want to start rolling out. And when you think you've got it big enough to fit your tin, we'll put it in. So let's have that rolled over there today. There's our tin, and we want to be putting that on there. So just dump it all in and then we can start from there, yeah? Let's make it easy. So in we go to the bottom. Now we want to keep an overhang because we're going to tuck our pastry in the top of it. That's lovely. Okay, we need to be rolling out a top to fit that. nice and steady. And that is more than enough to fit that. Put that to one side. I'll just put that on a tray right from the start, in there. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that gravy that we had, and we just want a little bit more in the top of there, I reckon. A little bit of water round there. Now don't worry if the water goes on your pie, that doesn't matter, on the filling, sorry. Don't worry about that. Now the pastry lid we're going to tuck inside. So get it in there. And then we're going to fold over everything. Fold it all over like that. Just bring it all round, and we're going to put a lovely top on our pastry. You know, everybody thinks you've got to crimp everything to the side like that. You don't have to, you know, you can fold it all in and crimp it inside. It doesn't matter. Okay, so then we want to do the old couple of fingers or finger and thumb, and we want a little bit of a pattern on the top of there. That looks okay. And then we're just going to put a couple of vent holes in the top, like that. Now you can egg wash this, but today I'm milk washing it. I don't particularly want a really dark colour on there today. So there we have our lovely pie, and we're just going to shove it in the oven. And that's going in there for about 35 minutes. All we need to do now is get that out of there. Oh, look at that. Just look at that. That looks absolutely superb. Okay, we're going to let it cool as per usual, and then we'll crack open that tin. Okay. Ooh, absolutely boiling. But let's just be popping this. Oh. That looks tremendous. So we're going to actually have that out of there. Take that off there somehow. Like that. That looks absolutely amazing. All we got to do now is get in and cut a slice. That is absolutely phenomenal. Now that is a bit special. Look at that. Serve it up with some mushy peas. Just look at that. Beef, mushroom and stout pie, mushy peas. Woo. Let's give it a go. Beef, mushroom and stout pie made with mushy peas. I mean, we know what the pastry's like. So let's come in here. Good pieces of beef. Oh. That just melts. That just melts. All we need is some of that gravy. The pastry beautifully cooked as usual. You know, this oven does really well. That's delicious. Oh, that beef in there is A1. Nice gravy, nice pastry. Serve it with some mushy peas or anything you like. Mashed potato. Fantastic. If you like what we're doing, don't forget, smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. We'll catch you in the next video.